It's the beginning of March, so it's time for my March sewing plan. Hi, my name's Claire and this is Stitch and Sew. Thank you so much for joining me today for another video. Now today's video is everything I'm planning to sew in the month of March 2023. So if that interests you, please stick around with me today. Before I get started, I'll just mention what I'm wearing. This is my Tilly in the Buttons Lyra dress. It's actually the Lyra top half and a Lotta skirt, and I made this in the month of February. So if you're interested in seeing that dress in a little bit more detail, please do hop over to that video and I'll pop a card in now. So my sewing plans for March, let's get cracking. So within the month of March there are 2 sewing challenges that I'm taking part in. I'm sure there's many more, but there's just 2 I think that I'll be taking part in the month of March. The first one is Sew Yellow for Endo 2023, and I'll pop up that hashtag along the screen. This is a sewing challenge that is being run by the lovely Jess from Sew What If I Sew, and the idea is to raise awareness for endometriosis. This is a condition that affects 1 in 10 women, and the average time for diagnosis, I believe, is about 8 to 10 years, which is a phenomenal amount of time to have to live with a condition without a diagnosis, and that it can have extreme effects on people, and it is very it's a very harsh condition that needs a lot more funding put into it, so that hopefully that they can try and find some better treatments, etc. for it. So the idea with the challenge is to sew up something yellow for endo and to make a small donation, or big donation if you prefer, to Jess's Just Giving page, which will then obviously go to Endometriosis UK. So the idea is to sew something yellow, or something with yellow in it. It doesn't have to be a completely yellow fabric, but something with sort of a nod to yellow in. Now there are lots of different varieties of yellow. It doesn't have to be a bright yellow. It could be a mustard, an ochre kind of colour. It could be a lemon yellow, whatever you're into, whatever you feel would suit you, but something that has got the colour yellow in. So the fabric that I'm going to be using for this isn't a true yellow. It has got yellow within it, and I haven't actually got the fabric for that one as yet, but I've ordered it and I'll pop a picture in, so hopefully that will arrive in the next couple of days for me to get cracking. And I'm not completely sure of what I'm going to sew up. I've got 3 meters of this fabric coming, so I'm thinking a dress of some sort, and I've still got that one to work out exactly what I want to do, but that is my first sewing plan for the month of March. Now another sewing plan in terms of challenges that I'm taking part in is the Sew Frugal challenge. Now this is a challenge that has been, I think it's in its 3rd year. I think the first year it was called Frugal Frocks, but last year it was changed to Sew Frugal, so that it was a little bit more inclusive. You could sew up something for anybody rather than it just being a dress, and the idea is that you sew up fabric from your stash using a free pattern. The idea is that you're not spending lots of money on this challenge, you're not having to go out to buy new fabric, and that the challenge itself is being run by the lovely Sam from Frugalissima and the amazing Ruan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl. And as I say, the idea is that you sew up something using fabric from your stash and using a free pattern. Now there is a whole vlogger tour going on this month, of which I will be putting out a video myself about it. I think mine's due to come out towards the end of the month. I'm thinking the 28th, but I obviously will double check that date. So we'll have a whole video coming out on things that I could sew for Sew Frugal 23. But that is another one of my sewing plans for this month, and I'm hoping to make a couple of items at least for that. So we'll see how I get on with that. So those are my 2 sewing challenge related items for the month. So I do have other things that I want to sew, obviously, and the next item that I'm looking at sewing is with this fabric here. Now this is a cotton fabric. It's an art gallery cotton fabric it's a black base with rainbows all over it. Now this is a little bit more out there for me, but I just fell in love with this fabric. It came from Stitch and Ink, this fabric, and it's a remnant. I think I've got 1.8 meters, but as you can see, it's a very narrow fabric. So 1.8 meters won't go that far, and I'm thinking about making the Stevie top with this from Tilly and the Buttons. I'm having a little bit of a run of Tilly patterns, but you know, they are fabulous, aren't they? Tilly patterns are fantastic if you are a beginner, because they really hold your hand and really help you to learn some of the techniques. It's got a little bit of drape to this, but it has got, you know, it's a cotton fabric, so it has got some sort of structure to it as well. So a really fun fabric. I'll pop up a line drawing or a stock photo of the Stevie if you haven't seen it before, but it is a pattern that's been out for quite some time now, so I'm sure you've all seen it. I just think that's the simple lines of the Stevie will really show off this fabric, and I think it will be really a real fun addition to my wardrobe. So the next thing that I'm looking at sewing is the Estelle dress by Sew Over It. Now this is a pattern that I bought at the Knitting and Stitching show when I met up with the lovely Adele from Sew for Serenity and Crystal from my social thread, and we met lots of other lovely people there as well. But I was specifically going to meet those 2 lovely ladies, and we all bought the Estelle dress pattern that particular day because it was the launch day, or the next day I think was the launch day of that particular pattern, and they were doing some bundles. So I've got the pattern. This isn't the fabric that I actually bought with the sort of pattern bundle. This is just a very inexpensive ITY fabric, but I wanted to try out the pattern before I sort of went full on in to it. So I think this is the fabric I'm going to use for that. I think it will be a good sort of fabric to use, and if it works out quite well, I think it will be a nice dress for lots of different types of occasions, but I could also wear it to work if I wanted to as well. This particular dress, I think I really like the tie detail at the front. I'm a little bit unsure about the sort of length of skirt that I want to do on it. It's sort of a midi length, and I'm not quite so sure about the type of skirt being so long on me, so we'll just see how I get on with the pattern and whether I like it or not. So that's why I wanted to go for a fairly inexpensive fabric. This is, as I say, an ITY fabric that I bought from Pound Fabric some time ago. It feels beautiful, it's so soft, but yeah, was very inexpensive at about £2.99 a metre. So, you know, it won't be too much of an issue if this doesn't really work out, but I'm hoping it does, because it is quite a nice, as I say, a beautiful feel to the fabric, and I do like the design. So hopefully this one will be another make for the month of March. Now I've got one more plan that I'm hoping to sew up in the month of March. I'm keeping my plans fairly small this month. I've got a very busy work month ahead, and I also am obviously hoping to sew up some makes for Sew Frugals. I don't want to sort of overcommit too much. However, I've got one more make that I want to sew up, and I'm very excited about this make. I'm looking at sewing up the Lyra dress. Again, the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra. I will be looking to make the same alterations that I made to this Lyra dress, which is to add the lotus skirt rather than the skirt on the actual pattern, and I'll be adding some length to the bodice and sleeves as I did on this particular one. Now the fabric that I'm looking at using is a fabric that I bought at a recent sewing social that I went to. Now, the lovely Katherine from Soverton Makery is running a sewing social once a month in Hampshire, and this was the second one that she's hosted, and the lovely Anna from Pattern Pouch Nest came along with her lovely fabrics. Not all of them, because obviously she couldn't bring them all, but a lovely selection of her fabrics and also her pattern pouches and some other haberdashery items, some gorgeous pin cushions and things. And I bought some lovely fabric from Anna, so I will also always think of this as my Anna dress once I've made it, I think. So the fabric that I've bought again is a little bit brighter and out there for me, but I just saw this fabric and I absolutely fell in love with it. So I hope you guys like it too. As I say, it's quite bright for me, but I think as a summer make, this will be just gorgeous. Now hopefully I think I might have that up the wrong way. So is that the right way now? I think so. So this gorgeous fabric is a cotton fabric, and it is a little Johnny fabric. Beautiful. It feels gorgeous. I'm yet to wash it, but I'm sure all the fabrics that I've had from the Little Johnny range always wash up beautifully, so I'm sure this will be no exception. I'm planning on going for the short sleeved version, so when I said that I was going to increase the length of the sleeves, I probably will add just a little bit, maybe an inch or so, to the length of the sleeves of the short sleeves, because I do find often that sleeves come up a little bit short on me, so why wouldn't they come up a little bit short on a short sleeve as well? So I'll probably add maybe an inch and see how I get on. But I think this as a sort of spring summer version of the Lyra is just going to be gorgeous. It's going to hold the collar detail, etc. really nicely. It's heavier weight, I would suggest, than the Lyra, I'm not quite sure, that I'm currently wearing. I would say it's slightly heavier weight than that, but it will hold this collar detail beautifully, I think. So yeah, I'm totally looking forward to sewing this one up. I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Whilst we were at the sewing social, there was also another lovely lady selling her products, so we were very much spoilt, and that was the lovely Jen, who has also got a YouTube channel which is called One Girl Creates. She used to be One Girl and Her Machines, but I believe her channel is now One Girl Creates, and I'll pop that up on the screen. But she has got a little sideline business now, which is a button making business. It's called All of a Button, and I'm not sure how well that's going to come up. I'll pop in a picture if it's not coming up that well. These gorgeous sparkly buttons, and I just think, I mean, they're probably a smidge on the big side, but I think that these are just going to look beautiful with this fabric. I think they're going to pick out all the lovely colours within it. I think I'm going to have to go with them because I just think it's going to work really well. If I don't go with these particular buttons, because once I've made it up, I feel like they're a little bit on the big side, I'm going to have to try and find some equally as beautiful buttons as these, which is going to be quite hard to do. I will link, obviously, the shop for Anna's fabric from Pattern Pouch Nest in the description box below, and Jen's lovely buttons and her YouTube channel and Anna's YouTube channel, everything in the description box below, should you be interested in having a look. And I do encourage you to do so, because they're both fantastic and very, very, they've got some really lovely products. So please do check both of those lovely ladies out. So those are my plans for March. Please do let me know if you are taking part in any of the sewing challenges or any other sewing challenges that are taking part in March that you think that I might be interested in, or that other viewers might be interested in, to drop those in the comments below. Let me know what you think of my plans. Have you sewn up any of these? Have you got any ideas of things that I should be making, etc.? Do let me know in the comments below. If you have got any ideas of other videos that you'd like me to make or anything like that, please do drop me a comment in the video below. I'd be interested to hear what the sort of thing that you'd like to see from me. But I will round up today's video. I do hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please do give me a like. If you haven't subscribed, I'd really love it if you would consider doing so. But until next time, take care, happy sewing, bye bye.